No. Pace, don't do it. No. Don't do it. No. Don't do it. Don't do it. No. 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 Don't even think of no. Don't even think about no.
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a wonderful day today. It is still a beautiful day in cryptocurrency land. Bitcoin struggling a little bit around that $18,000 level. We did break above it. It seems like what we're doing right now is sort of some sideways consolidation. Now, I have heard some people calling for another massive breakout immediately. I do think Bitcoin's going to have another big move. However, I do see a little bit more of consolidation. Of course, I could be totally wrong and Bitcoin could surprise us again and pump another $1,000 tomorrow, but I do want to show you specifically what I'm looking for in the short term for the Bitcoin price. I also want to talk about, once again, and I know it's becoming somewhat of a meme, but why this time the rally is different. I want to show you even more examples of how money is destined to flow in. It is actually flowing in. And it's not only just the institutions, but the actual demographics themselves. You're seeing people slightly older. You're actually even seeing more women investing into cryptocurrency. And we have the data to prove that this time it is in fact extremely different. In fact, you have Deutsche Bank, right? You have a major bank actually coming out and getting bullish on Bitcoin as well. I want to discuss that, and also the fact that President Trump has currently nominated a crypto supporter. Bet you didn't hear about that yet. So we're going to talk about all that today. And of course, we do have some crypto and altcoin news at the end. So if that sounds good to you, you know what to do. If you're not subscribed, definitely consider it. And without further ado, let's dive directly into the charts. Now, Bitcoin is going on an absolute tear. It's been going on an absolute tear. We've had over 5 weeks of nothing but solid green candles for Bitcoin. Literally, the only weekly resistance that we have is the $19,388 level for Bitcoin. Now, the question is, are we actually going to head up to $19,388 before having a pullback, or are we going to be due for a little bit of a minor correction on the way up to those levels? Now, the one thing I need to point out is that the fear and greed index is literally at historically high levels. We have 94. This is the highest level of greed that I have seen. I'm not even sure if the greed index even got this high during the 2017 bull run, because it actually happened so fast. We've just been grinding away and grinding away, putting in higher highs and higher lows. So I am a bit cautious. I'm just going to be realistic about that. I am the biggest Bitcoin bull out there, but I am being a little bit cautious right now, especially, dropping major longs, at the top. I'm not telling you to short Bitcoin, but I would be cautious. Now, you could see right here, we actually were putting in what some people thought was a bit of a triangle formation. I could actually show you the formation that they were actually looking at right here. Let me just get the triangle tool. So it was basically something like this, kind of, like this, and they had said we had a breakout right here, but I'm actually looking at the bigger picture, and I think what we're doing is actually putting in this giant triangle right here, where the previous resistance is becoming the support. So we could actually see Bitcoin come down to retest these levels and sort of bounce around for a few more days before having the next breakout. Now, obviously, Bitcoin has been sort of surprising us, and all of our expectations have been blown out of the water. So there is that chance that Bitcoin doesn't obey technicals and just continues to blast off to the upside. However, looking at this formation right now, it does look like we could be due for another day, maybe 2 days of consolidation. We'll have our answer by tomorrow if the Bitcoin price is sitting lower than it is right now. But aside from the TA, because it's a little difficult to do TA on something that's sort of going parabolic, right? What I can look at, what I can see right now is the fundamentals. And I can tell you right now that people are interested. We have Bitcoin futures total open interest making a brand new all-time high, over $6 billion. This is fresh capital coming in, speculating, but also, remember, HODL mentality for Bitcoin. Now, obviously, a lot of these are cash settled, but one thing that we can say that is very, very different this time around, and that is the difference between Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins. Now, what we saw in 2017 was Bitcoin goes up, altcoins go up. Bitcoin goes down, altcoins go down. Everything seemed to have a similar ebb and flow. The markets all moved at the same exact rate. Everything went up and then everything went down. And what we're seeing now is something very different. Ethereum, not 100% following Bitcoin. Altcoins, not 100% following Ethereum. We're actually seeing the evolution of the space, and we're seeing the king of crypto, Bitcoin, solidifying itself as the store of gold, and Ethereum, some might say, is even becoming the internet money, right? And you can see right here on this chart, there was a huge boom and bust with the ICO bubble of Ethereum back in 2017. Now, moving on to how this time is different. Now, this is actually from the Brisbane Times. This is an Australian article, and according to Caroline Bowler, a former investment banker and the CEO of Australia's largest cryptocurrency exchange, BTC Markets, she says this time it is different. In fact, a number of new investors signing on to the exchange recently are outside of the typical crypto demographic. So she goes on to say that traditionally our users have been between 25 to 40 years old, mostly men, but now what we're seeing is a large number of 55 and above and a lot more women entering crypto. So it's no longer just, a male-driven speculative young man's game, right? Now we're seeing this whole demographic of people coming into crypto. One of the biggest areas of growth specifically for Bitcoin markets is self-managed super funds, with investors allocating now up to about 5% of their portfolios to alternative assets like Bitcoin. It used to be under 1% or 1% at most. Now you're seeing them, okay, I respect Bitcoin. It's a store of value. Now you're seeing them up it to 5%, right? And the more people that do this, the more it becomes accepted, the more Paul Tudor Jones, MicroStrategies that start doing this, the more the others are going to pile in. And that's what I was mentioning in my video yesterday about the trillions of dollars that are inevitably going to flood these markets. A lack of attractive returns in other more traditional assets such as cash has caused the switch with a lot of investors in what she refers to as the hunt for value, right? Now, just having a look right here, I want to point out what Kevin Kelly said. He's over at Delphi Digital. Once again, he is echoing the same thing, that this time it's different. Despite the latest surge, the total market value of Bitcoin still represents less than 0.4% of global M2 money supply. Bitcoin's return over the last month appears somewhat mundane. Now you might be saying to yourself, well, this has been insane. We've had an incredible 5 weeks. What are you talking about? Well, relative to Bitcoin's history, for example, during the 2017 run, Bitcoin surged more than 250% in a 30-day trading period that led up to its euphoria at the top. Similarly, despite trading within around 8% of its all-time closing high, Bitcoin's 90-day realized volume is near the low end of its 5-year average range. So we have 10 trillion that's been added to global M2 money supply since the end of March. Bitcoin has nearly tripled over the same period, but its total market value still only represents 0.4% of global M2. So, in conclusion, what does this all mean, K-Dub? Well, if our thesis, according to Kevin Kelly, proves to be correct, Bitcoin could replace a substantial portion of treasury and sovereign debt in the average investor's portfolio in the coming years, resulting in immense capital flows for such a nascent asset. And if that's not enough bullish fundamental outlooks, we also have Deutsche Bank getting bullish on Bitcoin. What? Jim Reed, managing director, head of global fundamental credit strategy, says there seems to be an increasing demand to use Bitcoin where gold used to be used as the hedge against the dollar risk, inflation, and other things. While Bitcoin has gained 144% this year, gold is only up 22%. The divergence between gold and silver on one hand and Bitcoin on the other is one of the oddities this month. According to Reed, US-based drug makers, we had Pfizer and Moderna announced encouraging results for experimental solutions to the pandemic, right? Which shall not be named because I don't want to get demonetized. But yet, you saw people getting excited and they were looking to rotate their money out of gold into other assets, more maybe risk assets, and yet the price of Bitcoin, however, continue to go up and up and up and up and up, right? So that is something definitely interesting. Now, also, Trump is looking to nominate a crypto supporter. So listen to this, right? We talked about the Biden support that he was going to get I forget what the guy's name was now. But over here, they say in what could possibly turn out to be one of his last appointments as president of the United States, Donald Trump has nominated Brian Brooks to serve a 5-year term as comptroller of the currency. Brooks has been widely regarded as a friend to the crypto industry. During his little stint as the acting head of the federal agency, he has looked to carry out reforms that favor the industry. For example, in May, he had introduced federal licensing for fintech startups. His proposal was an attempt to put an end to the current systems where crypto exchange firms had to be licensed by each state before they were allowed to do business. Through this reform, crypto exchanges now would only need a federal license to do their business. So, lots of bullish news out there, but what about the altcoins, K-Dub? You never talk about the altcoins. Well, guys, I think we had our alt season. I think Bitcoin has been taking the lead, but talking about some of the upcoming events for all of my altcoin fanatics out there, I do have some news. I'm going to start with one of my favorites, Polkadot. Now, Polkadot is going to have a live event, Decoded. This is going to be on December 3rd. If you guys are interested, you can check it out, follow it live. They're going to have all their different core developers for the network. They're going to talk about different things in the Polkadot ecosystem. Discussions are expected to touch key technologies, talking about multi-chain architecture like the parachains, cross-network bridges. There are talks also expected to be delivered by teams currently working on Polkadot applications, such as Moonbeam, right? That's pretty cool. An interoperable smart contract platform, as well as Polkadot BTC, a wrapped version of Polkadot. And for the person, and you know who you are in the cryptocurrencies group who is always asking me to talk about Qtum, literally, fine. Today we have some updates. So this is a big update for Qtum. It says that they will be the home to a new decentralized exchange this Friday after KeySwap, an independent liquidity protocol, completed its testnet phase. The launch of the KeySwap mainnet on Friday will allow anyone to build decentralized finance applications and provide liquidity on top of the Qtum blockchain. So KeySwap is a decentralized exchange that provides liquidity for Qtum cryptocurrencies as well as QRC20 tokens. According to the founder over at KeySwap, he says it will further allow the community to take control of the Qtum protocol because it is one of the foundational money Legos of the DeFi ecosystem. We see KeySwap as the first step into a broader push of DeFi tools that we are being told are lined up over the next few months for Qtum. And this is what I was talking about when we were discussing about the death of DeFi. No, DeFi is not dead. It is simply morphing. It is evolving into something useful, into practical applications that are actually needed, not just farming pickles and such. So that is an update from them. We also do have an update from AdX. Now, if you don't know what these guys are doing, they're essentially an advertising marketplace that's looking to solve a lot of the current issues today. Very similar to what we see with Brave Browser, except they're doing it specifically using peer-to-peer technology, cryptocurrency, and blockchain that allows users to trade advertising space or time, right? This is better for both the end user and for the publisher or the, influencer, right? Even though I do hate that term. But the big news is that they're now inviting the community to have your say, if you're a AdX community member, in important decisions. So you can basically join the AdX loyalty program, their pool. You can deposit your ADX tokens in exchange for the loyalty tokens. So the loyalty tokens are going to allow holders the right to vote on proposals. As an additional incentive to join the staking pool, these that are holding the loyalty tokens will also receive passive income in the form of interest. The predictable interest rate will vary from 10 to 50%. According to the current ADX price as specified by, of course, our good old buddies, the Chainlink Oracle, a concept that we also spoke about. This is called elastic issuance, which I think is groundbreaking in the sense of staking, because one of the biggest problems with staking is, yes, you could be getting, let's say you're getting 90% APY, but if the value of the token is just falling and falling and falling and falling, okay, great. What's 90% of something if it's lost 90% value by the time you're done, right? That's not how you create adoption. So they talk about their first governance vote that will determine the number of ADX to be minted in 2021. The current proposal will determine the number between, you could pick 20 million, 15 million, 10 million, 5 million. Just keep in mind that they do have a maximum of 150. Also, big news from Coin. They have actually, well, today actually is the big day, right? If you guys are interested, by the way, just so you guys know, I have to say this. If you are interested in this offering, please make sure that you go to the official website. There's lots of scams. There's even scam comments down below. I'm not running any giveaways, and if it sounds too good to be true, it is. Just please always verify. Yes, it's happening today currently. Actually, at the time I'm making this video, it's live right now, but just make sure you guys go to the right thing. But you can see over here, they actually have a demonstration of them, receiving and sending, etc. Scrolling down here, they also have, what is this right here? Atomic swap technology. So yeah, they've basically uploaded a bunch of videos. Obviously, I'm curious to try this out. If you want, go follow them at CoinDeFi over on Twitter. They have a bunch of new videos coming out. Definitely looking forward to that. And I do need to mention our good old buddies. Lots of coin news today. VIDT. Giving the altcoins some love today. What can I say? VIDT Data Link. So they have a milestone, the first real world NFT asset. Told you guys NFTs are going to be big. Are now available for auction over at OpenSea. The opening bid for this unique blockchain validated Rolex from Amsterdam vintage watches is 215 ETH, and you can actually check the official right here. This is the actual website. So yeah, things are changing. Crypto is evolving. DeFi is evolving. NFTs are going to be a thing. Your friends are going to be trading NFTs and they're not even going to know it. And if you guys don't know a little bit about them, by the way, as far as VIDT is, they actually are sort of partners with another project I like, LTO. So you may have seen this news. IBM and VIDT Data Link announced the, I don't want to say that word, you know what, virus which shall not be named, safety indicator sensor, which can help to identify poorly ventilated spaces where the virus can thrive. These sensors will be integrated into their much anticipated Internet of Environments project rollout. And you can see some of these big names right here. VID, obviously, who we're talking about, LTO, IBM, Factory Labs. So how are these guys going to work together? Well, this is pretty interesting. So it's manufactured by Factory Lab, right? So they're going to measure the air quality in the room. The resulting data will pass through the VIDT data link architecture, where it's anchored on the IBM Hyperledger and then LTO network blockchain for data integrity purposes. This whole process proves that all data is pristine and untouched by any nefarious actors who may have a vested interest in manipulating the data for political or cost-saving ends. We all know a thing or two about data getting manipulated. I'm not going to trigger anyone right now, but the IBM Watson supercomputer then analyzes the data, looking for patterns and trends which help it to make accurate predictions. So one of IEO's goal in sensing and analyzing environmental data such as microdust, humidity, CO2 levels, temperature, which can be helpful in many ways, reduction of waste energy use, amplifying healthy and comfortable environments for communities, and recognizing risk factors before they occur. So lots of breakthroughs in the space, lots of things going on. Bitcoin's pumping, DeFi is booming, NFTs are running rampant, and now we're seeing blockchain companies, VID, LTO, teaming up with people like IBM to make our data safe so that we're not breathing in air that we shouldn't be breathing in. So that is it for me today, guys. Lots of stuff to talk about. For right now, like I said, as far as the whole Bitcoin price goes, I'm really just looking for this consolidation. Could we have a massive breakout? It's possible. It is totally possible. We could have already had the breakout down here. We may come down, retest the falling wedge as a bit of support. I do think ultimately, though, that this resistance, previous resistance right here will provide support. So let's say today we just drop straight down to the bottom, just plummet. I think we'd have a little bit of a bounce around 17,248. If we continue to fall, then we might have to change our tune. But, trend is your friend until the end. Take it a day at a time. Not every day can be a blast off to the moon. I do not believe we've had the blow off top just yet. I do think there is more room to the upside. However, short term, I think we could see a little bit more accumulation. So that is it for me today, guys. That is the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. Everyone that's been liking, subscribing, and commenting. You guys rock. You're the reason that I do this every single day. My name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, Peace out.